Hi everyone, this is a video of Elon streaming Diablo 4 on X. I know a lot of people probably missed it, they don't know how to get to it. He has an alt tag called gamer, or alt username called gamer on Twitter or X. So follow me on X because I will be streaming there as well once I get the capability to do so, once they give me access to the studio. And follow me here and subscribe to YouTube for more content, for more gaming content, as some of you probably have never seen my channel before. I'm currently playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I did start up Counter-Strike 2 as well, which is what I'll probably be streaming on Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, keep it locked down on the channel and follow me on X/Twitter, or AKA Twitter, previously known as Twitter, whatever you want to call it. All right, see you guys. Enjoy.
If you go back up here, I think tweet. Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? If you go back up here, I think tweet. Oh, right. Oh, God. Is it working? If you go What did not show up? Do you see it at all? And it is. Oh, weirdly, it's not showing up on the actual thing itself. Oh, there we go. It is. No, that's an old one.
This one's glitched out on your computer.
Hmm?
This one's. Oh wait, no, it's not. That just glitched out. I just think there's a repeating thing.
I'm actually so on the Cyber Gamer. Do you see the?
I'm getting lost connection trying to reconnect. I'm trying again.
Oh yeah, I see. I guess.
You got it? Try actually clicking it though.
It's still actually weirdly. I tried it. I just wanted to delete so it doesn't have all the crap of the prior things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still seeing all the crap of the prior things.
Do you want me to try to delete it?
Yeah, I'm trying to. But weirdly on this, it says it's gone. But when I look at it myself. Okay, no, now it's mostly gone?
The only one I can see is Diablo. So there's one extra one. But the account has something else.
Weird. Like if you look at this one, it's doesn't actually show anything. am I missing something? Like, I actually don't use the web interface, but this is a iPad interface.
There might be a bit of latency because I can only see 2 tweets. Let me try again. Just
Yeah, I can see 2 tweets too. But I'm trying to get rid of one of them, basically.
Justin just sent the credentials. If you want, I can try to, or you can try to log in.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to just do it?
Yeah.
If you want to look again, I just tried to delete it.
Oh, yeah. I think there's something broken with the web interface where I'm missing something. You can see this. Yeah, that seems to be good. So this is just showing the current stream?
Yep.
Okay, so it's working basically. Cool. Let's see, how did we see the thing before? I guess we were able to see it on this thing before. But I guess I can just look at my phone. No, like, I know, it's like, what the heck is going on? It's a bunch of like, let's get started bullshit, but no wonder, you know, we're able to see it on this thing. Okay, cool.
What in the heck?
No, like, I know, it's like, what the heck is going on? It's a bunch of like, let's get started
You
bullshit.
see your own phone.
Exactly. This is. No, I'm like, am I missing something? It's like, is there? What's the trick?
Okay, hang on. There might be one trick. Let me try this.
Exactly. This is. No, I'm like, am I missing something? It's like, is there? What's the trick?
DM myself.
You can DM from one account to another. I only have 2 accounts. My Elon Musk account, maybe Smurf 9000 for testing new stuff. Alright, let's see. I hope you can hear me. Hi guys. Is audio coming through? Okay. Cool. Alright, let's see if this works. I'll try out it with something simple. We'll start off with we'll start off with a 69 dungeon. This should be fairly easy-ish. Hey guys. Haha, cool. Mic check is good. Alright, I can see your comments. So haha, cool. Alright, so here I am playing Diablo. I have like a candle over there for atmosphere. I have some candles here too, but they're hard to see. And there's a giant candle behind me. Alright. So let's see. So I'll show you what this build looks like. Now some of this stuff is going to be like super obvious to gamers and like super complicated to if you're not a gamer. But this is my character layout. So I'm playing a druid, and this is I started off playing a Weirbear pulverized druid. That actually that worked well up till about like tier 70-ish dungeons. Then to really be okay beyond that, I switched to werewolf. So like werewolf, their castle. Yeah. Anyway, that's a line from Young Frankenstein. So I'm in this case a werewolf druid, and it's pretty late right now, so I'm not gonna do a high tier dungeon because I'm too tired to do that right now. So this is just like a level 69 dungeon, tier 69. So just to give some background for those who have no idea what the heck this is. This is Diablo 4. This is the main game, so it's not the seasonal. That means it doesn't have like these things like called malignant hearts, which amplify damage. So when I'm a little bit more rested, I will do a tier 100 dungeon solo without using an ultimate skill. So I'll show you what my skill tree looks like. So this is Claw is the main attack. The Claw is able to use a Storm Strike because I have this Grey Staff of the Crone, which allows Claw to be a Storm Strike. So if I attack as a werewolf, that is actually also a Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike, when combined with Nature's Fury, triggers cooldowns of the non-ultimate skills. Basically, I can cast the spells faster. And then I have something called Nature's Fury, which has a 30% chance of casting the opposite kind of spell. So if I cast a Storm spell, has a 30% chance to trigger a free skill of the other type. And then I'm using, in this case, the secondary attack of Bulwark. Bulwark is normally a shield spell. It has a secondary modifier, which is shrapnel. So this is my main power attack. So I use Claw to reset the cooldown on Earthen Bulwark, so I can basically use what is supposed to be a shield as basically a weapon. And then I have Poison Creeper. So the interesting thing about Poison Creeper is actually also the critical strike chance is increased by 20%. This is actually the reason to have Poison Creeper. That the damage done by it is not that high, but it immobilizes and poisons the monsters. But really, what matters is increasing the critical strike chance by 20%. Then you got Bloodhowl for increasing your attack speed, and I've got an legendary aspect, which gives you 9.5% critical strike chance. The game designers here obviously love critical strike. One of the mistakes I made initially with the build was doing a pulverized build focused on overpower, and that actually is not nearly as good as a critical strike build. So I'm basically doing a bunch of this will heal, increase attack speed, and also with that legendary aspect, give roughly 10% increase of critical chance. The Cyclone Armor, actually, I'm also using Cyclone Armor based on its modifier, not its primary. Cyclone Armor is also supposed to be a defense, but I'm using it as an offense here, primarily in order to slow enemies and knock them back and make them vulnerable. And then Hurricane. Hurricane at rank 5 does a decent amount of damage, but actually, again, the modifier is the more important thing, which is to slow enemies down by normally 2 seconds, but I have a modifier for crowd control on my hat, which is giving me roughly 10% increased crowd control duration. So an extra roughly 0.2 seconds actually matters in this situation. And then another modifier to reduce the damage dealt by enemies that are affected by hurricane damage. So just to go through the primary equipment layout. The hat gives you increase in max life, some life on kill, but most importantly, 6.6% increase in total armor, and a damage reduction gain when I'm shapeshifted into werewolf. The armor is also, the chest armor is also giving me a damage reduction against distant enemy, overall 9% damage reduction, dexterity, which improves the critical strike chance again, and 4 ranks of Earthen Bulwark. So I'm at 9 ranks of Earthen Bulwark. I actually have other equipment that'll enable me to get to rank 15 in Earthen Bulwark, but that doesn't really seem to matter. And then these are the gloves. Most important on the gloves is the increase in attack speed. The faster I can attack, the faster I can reset my spells, basically, and reset cooldowns on the spells. Then my pants. It's really more of a skirt than pants, but whatever. It's also providing damage reduction, some help on the hurricane front. It's got the basic skill, 20% damage reduction, which is important also, and damage reduction while fortified. I'm almost always fortified. Boots are giving me an increase in movement speed, more increase of armor while werewolf, damage reduction while injured, so if my health goes low, and provided I don't get one-shot killed, the damage done by enemies is dropped by 43%. And it's slightly helpful to have a dodge. I'm not a huge dodge user. The Ghost Walker part is important. So when I'm so-called unstoppable in the game, which is when the Earthen Bulwark is active, my speed increases and I can move through enemies, which is very important for dodging in real time. So yeah, I'm uninstalling. So this is not bad for like just a little test. So this is really just a test. So and and it's currently way too hard to do this. It's like took like hours to set this up, so we need to make it just effortless. Yeah. So anyway, the Ghostwalker sort of legendary imprint is very important here in the higher level dungeons, so that you don't get trapped by a bunch of monsters where they just pound the hell out of you. You can actually cast a Earthen Bulwark and move through them and sort of bounce around and hit them from the back. Then this weapon is really important. So if people play Diablo, you'll know this is a hard to find weapon, and it's awesome. Great Staff of the Crone, and it has on the high side of claw ranks. It's 9 ranks of claw, and does a bunch of damage. But like I said, the most important thing is that this it does a claw attack, which is a very fast attack. But that claw attack is simultaneously also a storm strike. And then on the necklace. So it'd be nice to have a necklace in real life that had all these things. It's remarkable that a necklace can do so much damage reduction. But it's doing overall damage reduction, reduction while fortified, increasing armor in werewolf form. So I'm actually much stronger in werewolf form than in human form. And importantly, 17% damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. So both with my direct attack and with Poison Creeper, I'm going to be poisoning the enemies, thus dropping their damage by 17%. And then the really essential Nature's Fury, the symbiotic aspect, which when on a necklace gives you a 50% increase in what would normally be 5 seconds, but raises it to 8 seconds, so that helps reset the cooldown on Earthen Bulwark. On the ring, most important here is that the basic skill increase is get a 27% basic skill attack increase, because I'm using that basic skill again to reset my more powerful spells. Although the basic skill is actually pretty good with the Great Staff of the Crone, but for serious like boss fights, you really just want to use the basic skill to reset the cooldowns on your other spells. I'm using spell generically. It's called different things in the game. And then this is also increasing damage, so more damage to vulnerable enemies, damage if they're close, damage if they're crowd controlled, which means if you're able to slow them down or knock them back, and various things called crowd control. And then also an amplified, you'll see also an amplified damage to poison enemies, since I'm going to be poisoning them pretty much all the time. And then the Ring of Natural Balance, which works well with Nature's Fury, which buffs up Storm if you cast a Earth spell, and buffs up Earth if you cast a Storm spell. So those are pretty nice, and they're at the upper end of the scale. So in Diablo, you've got like a range of what it can be. In this case, it's at the up end of the range. Took me ages to find this one. And then in terms of the gems, I've skulls to improve armor across here. I've got amethyst for damage reduction while fortified, so that's like adds up to about 9% increments there. And then damage reduction while control impaired. In the higher level dungeons, you're almost always control impaired, so meaning that they're doing things to you to slow you, chill you, daze you, knock you over, all sorts of other things, and you get, in this case, 20% damage reduction while that's happening. So, and then I got my sort of 2 fun pieces here, which is I don't use them for high level combat, but I can use them for lower level stuff. And these 2 actually, they're kind of fun. I could probably use them in this. I'll try using them in this dungeon actually. They allow me to move very fast, but they're not as damage resistant as the other ones, so I can like switch them out. And this makes my natural form werewolf, and I can also move really fast. So for Spirit Boons, what I got here is reduction from elites, increased attack speed. In this case, I've got critical strikes reduce the cooldown of my companion, which Poison Creeper is somehow a companion. Interesting pet to have. But since I'm going to be critical striking a lot, so this is basically saying I've got a 1 in 5 chance of resetting my Poison Creeper from a 20-second cooldown to immediately being able to use it. So if I'm doing a lot of attacks and you know, kind of critical strike 5 times, my Poison Creeper is going to reset. So in a heavy battle, this basically means I can spam Poison Creeper. And then a Fortify Bolster. In the high-level dungeons, Fortify drains fast, so you want to boost Fortify. And Fortify gives you 15% fortification for defensive skill, and both Cyclone Armor and Bulwark are considered defensive skills, even though I'm using them offensively. So when I cast my offensive skills, I get a fortification improvement, and then critical strikes with shapeshifting skills, which would Claw is a shapeshifting skill as well. So when I cast this, which I cast it very fast, you can see with my armor change, Claw is now level 14. I am constantly healing myself with critical strikes, as well as with Blood Howl. So, abilities, again, this is going to vary depending on what armor you've got on. Normally you can only take a skill up to level 5. In this case, with all the you know, enhancements I've got in the armor, it's actually rank 14 out of 5. So it does like a ridiculous amount of damage, even though it's a basic attack. And then just sort of speeding things up. So you're just looking for fast attack speed. I mean, this is like sort of a speedrunner build. Although I would not say I'm a skilled speedrunner. I can, yeah, clear a dungeon pretty fast for someone who doesn't do it a lot. So since it's dual use Storm Strike, it's getting the modifiers for Storm Strike, so it'll immobilize enemies and make them vulnerable. With the high level dungeons, you need to keep the monsters vulnerable all the time. It massively increases the amount of damage that you do, and the high level monsters are like basically tanks. Yeah, so some basic stuff. You're just looking to amplify your damage reduction as much as possible. So I'm using defensive skills all the time. So vigilance is pretty much always there. So 15% damage reduction. You got Blood Howl here. Normally it'd be rank 1, but I have the I switched to Mad Wolf's Glee, which gives me 3 extra ranks of werewolf skills. Going through this pretty fast. This is going to seem like total, you know, ancient Greek to someone who's not played the game or doesn't look at a lot of video games, but I'm trying to speak to a wide range of audiences here. Yep, Poison Creeper, just rank 1. And as I said, this is really the important part of Poison Creeper, which is Brutal Poison Creeper, 20% increase in critical strike. Then here I've got Envenom, which increases critical strike damage by 60%. Also, critical strike will poison slightly. This is important for the poison effect. Poison also slows slightly, gives them the slow effect, which again amplifies damage. I've got Crushing Earth here, maxed out. So 15% damage increase. A little bit of fortification here. Stone Guard, also a 12% damage increase. Defiance, 12% damage to elites. And this, also buffs Earth and well, you can read it basically. And then this is actually pretty cool resonance. If you're casting Earth and Storm skills, which I'm constantly doing, one after the other results in an 18% damage increase. And then quick shift is not that important, but this is important. When you shape shift into a werewolf, get another 12% damage reduction against elites. Elites are the ones that usually kill you. Now the interesting thing here is I'm not actually using I'm not using an ultimate attack. So ultimate attack would be Cataclysm or Lacerate, or the most common one would be Grizzly Rage, or if you're and sometimes people will convert Grizzly Rage into a dire werewolf, but I'm not using that. I'm just using a key passive, which is Nature's Fury. You can do it either way, but I'm not saying this is the best build, but it is the build that I've got. And on the Paragon boards, got your basic board here, and then sort of the Thunderstruck board. I mostly want the Undaunted glyph here. So again, looking for damage reduction for the high tier dungeons. Just not being killed instantly is the goal. So you want really damage reduction. I think more than you even want attack capability. So I'm usually heavily fortified, so I get 10% damage reduction here. I won't go into like the gruesome details, but as you can see, Diablo 4 can be pretty complicated because you can have you pick from I think roughly eight boards, and you can rotate the boards. So depending on how you pick, what boards you pick, and how you rotate them and attach them, it's sort of like if you mix the game Go with Dungeons and Dragons. It's a bit like that. It's a lot of ways to combine these boards. But I'm mostly looking for, since this is configured for high tier dungeons, I'm mostly looking for damage reduction. So this is like a pretty important one here, Outmatch. So Outmatch is amplifying the armor from the rare node. The armor rare node is giving me an incremental 440 armor plus another 220. So armor, yeah, super important in this game. Then going out of here, Protector against 10% damage reduction while I have an active barrier. I usually have an active barrier, and it's increasing critical strike damage with Earth skills. Bulwark is my primary attack, and that's another skill. So it's also improving resistance to elements, but that's not that important. Nice to have. Critical strike with the Earth skills is pretty important. So let's over to finally get to Werewolf, and this is mostly this game. I actually care more about the damage reduction than I do about the attack capabilities. And I've got damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. Goes back to Poison Creeper and my poison attack. So I'm looking to reduce the damage done by enemies as much as possible. So if you're dead, then the amount of damage you can do is very low. So I'm trying to be not dead for high-level dungeons. So this is only a mere level tier 69, so it's not really that hard. You can see I'm like moving really fast here with the werewolf. So these things show all of the various buffs, debuffs, and other effects that happen. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing that I think is pretty helpful is Ghost Walker's aspect on the boots. While you're in what the game calls unstoppable, and for 4 seconds thereafter I gain movement speed, but most importantly I can move freely through enemies. So in the higher levels you get trapped in like a sort of a massive group of enemies, and they can sometimes pin you down, and you just can't get away and they kill you. So Ghost Walker allows you to move through them and bounce around, avoid the sort of power attack or ultimate attack of the monsters, and sort of basically dart dart behind them and hit them from behind. So that's actually a really important one. Yeah. So I'm just looking at the comments here. So the stream is delayed by some, I think, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds. So I'll see the comments like a little later than they're made. Oh, it's dark. Yeah, it's kind of dark, I guess. Well. Alright, this is the affixes matter on these dungeons quite a lot, so here I generally look at what the monsters can do. So non-boss monsters can regenerate life, and they take less damage from overpower. They have the suppressor affix, makes them harder to kill, and they deal incremental lightning damage. So I'll just zip through this real fast and. So I find it's pretty helpful to just bounce around, so that they'll be attacking the place that you used to be, as opposed to the place where you are. So you'll see like vulnerables popping a lot there. That's really important. But like I said, this is only level 69. Kind of hard to see what's going on. What the? Ah, come on! That was embarrassing, almost died. Alright. This is often in the high tier dungeons where this is often the hardest part, because they'll trap you in this room and you have to like try to not die while you're in this room. And try to avoid those lightning lances. Anyway. So now let's slay the vampire lords. So. Anyway, the general idea here is to, you know, if you want to stream on the X platform, you can. You can do it right now, actually. The user interface is kind of complicated. We want to make it easy. But you can use OBS. So if you're using OBS already, you can attach to X as a stream. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm using OBS. It's open source, so I think we can do a modified version of OBS and just kind of fork the code so it's easier to use for most people. Or if you want to use you know, full OBS, you can. But I think we just need to make it kind of like one click and and it just works. So. Yep. So I try to use the shrine, which shrines normally buff you, but a lot of the times on the nightmare dungeons, the shrines are actually just they're cursed. So you have to get attacked by demons when you try to use it, like these guys. And once you survive, you can use the shrine. Conduit Shrine. This is cool. You turn yourself into lightning. Some like a lightning ball. It's running around. Hey guys. And as you can see, my name is I Will Never Die. This is not true. I have died many times, but I think it's a funny name. And my title is Rampaging Goat. I mean, if you've ever seen a goat in a rampage, it can be pretty tough. So I gotta find out the vampire. Actually, I can travel to the vault, so I'm gonna do that. Let's skip these guys and go over here. Where am I? There we go. So oddly enough, the boss fights in the nightmare dungeons are often the easiest part of the game. So I'm gonna take care of this guy real fast. It's a piece of cake, basically. Usually the elite fights right before this are much harder. So you can increase your glyph capabilities here. The glyphs go up to level 21. And I have Territorial at 21, and then I've got Outmatch, Werewolf, Undaunted, and Protector. The one I want to actually get to 21 is Outmatch, so I'm going to allocate the XP to that. The Outmatch one is amplifying my armor, so trying to get that to max level is going to be good for the higher level dungeons. Teleport back to town. Alright. And that was just a test of the system. And I'll do another test tomorrow. And do I don't know, maybe a level 99 or 100. Now level 9, you really need to be on your toes if it's like a 99, 100 level dungeon. Like the hardest, just for those who don't know anything about the game, there's 4 levels in Diablo. There's kind of like the sort of basic level, veteran, then nightmare, and then torment. The torment level is beyond nightmare. Within torment, there are nightmare tier dungeons, which go from level 1 to 100. So a level 100 dungeon in torment is that's really quite difficult, and you can't be like tired or tipsy or anything. Usually, it's like you're gonna die. I mean, any mistake in a nightmare 100 level dungeon, you're gonna die. So I just need to be not tired to do that. But I did complete a level 99 about a week ago, and then I did a tier 100 yesterday. So it's definitely doable. And I think I might be able to. It was kind of a struggle to do the tier 100. I refactored my Paragon board, so now it should be, I think, a little easier. And I'm sure there's like tons of mistakes in my Paragon boards, and I'm doing a bunch of dumb stuff. But yeah, nonetheless, I did clear tier 100. Perhaps not as elegantly as it could have been done, but so I'll do that tomorrow. Well, you'll basically see. I'll try it, and you can see I may fail. But it'll be hopefully entertaining either way. So, and the way we set it up is that the comments are that only subscribers can actually do comments. So I think for those who are doing streaming, gaming, and whatnot, I think one of the advantages is if you enable subscriptions in the X platform, then you can talk directly to your subscribers and kind of have a cool kind of discussion among, I don't know, people that subscribe to you or like you or whatever. This is like probably the biggest ad for Diablo ever, but whatever. It's a great game. And one of the nice things about Diablo is you can do a pickup game with friends very easily, even if they're, outside of the country or elsewhere in the world. You can do solo, and you can sort of go find a friend, and So I actually play with friends of mine, and we'll just do a quick pickup game, and it's just nice. Can you get to hang out with friends and play a game at the same time? So it's cool. Yes, and subs only in comments is it's it's a nice perk if for subscribing. And generally, we're gonna enable more things like that, so it should be cool. Bone tag handles, yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, thanks everyone for popping in, and hopefully I'll be able to do a tier 100 dungeon, maybe tomorrow or the next day. I don't know, probably tomorrow night after work. So, anyway, this was cool. It was a fun experience, and good work by the engineering team getting it all set up and cruising. Well, helping me set it up since OBS is a little hard to use, and we had this problem. We got us stuck for a while where I was sounding like a chipmunk. So it's because the voice sampling rate on OBS was different from the voice sampling rate on my PC. So I had like this high-pitched voice, which was pretty funny. But anyway, we fixed that. So, all right. So anyway, thanks guys. I'll see ya maybe tomorrow night or sometime soon. All right. I'll end the stream with that.